AsalaamuAlykum. I'm your sister Naomi Saif. Today I wanted to talk about diversity. One thing that I love, amongst many, many, many things, about Islam is the diversity of the Ummah. It is so diverse. It is so beautiful. I used to think I was ignorant, I was naive, whatever the word, prior to Islam, where I thought that Islam was kind of like two worlds. I thought it was Arab, and I thought that it was Nation of Islam. I never knew how to connect. But I now realize that we come in all colors, shapes, and sizes, especially in my own culture. I am Puerto Rican. My Spaniard side, my father's side, well, I have Spain on both my mom and dad's side. I'm Puerto Rican. So our conquerors and were the Spaniards. So in my dad's side, I have way more Spaniard lineage. And I actually have a grandparent, my great-grandfather, who came from La Mancha, the southern part of Albacete, I believe, of Spain. So I have a direct connection to Spain. And for me to learn, when I was looking into Islam and in the beginnings parts of me becoming a Muslim, that my ancestors, like Spain was El Andalus, like my ancestors were Muslim. That is amazing. And then also when it comes to my West African side, to learn that it is believed that 1 in every 3 slaves that was brought over on them slave ships, Caribbeans, also where my family is from and where I come from, well, not where I come from, but my family were Muslim. That is amazing. And it kind of makes sense because I see Islam in, it's been diluted and it's been distorted, but I still see some of it. For example, the way we say bendición. And I don't know if that's just a Puerto Rican thing or a Caribbean thing. I don't know if maybe it's a Catholic thing, but I mostly hear that in the Puerto Rican community. Bendición means blessings. And then, so you see an elder and you say bendición, and they tell you, Dios te bendiga, God bless you. Now, this is someone like when you wake up in the morning, your parents. Now, this is what we do in Islam. AsalaamuAlykum, walaikum salam. It is this like pious exchange that I just find amazing. So anyways, my experience with the diversity of Islam, I believe that God prepared me for this by his mercy. I take no credit, because when I was younger, when I was about 10 or 11, I moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I got reconnected with my grandmother, and she started taking me to church. Now, my grandmother introduced me to the Pentecostal church, and me being Puerto Rican, I was always raised in a bilingual world. But this world, the Pentecostal world, was even way more important as to where I am today because of its piety and because of their rules. For example, the way that we dress. We had to wear long skirts. We couldn't pluck our eyebrows. We couldn't wear nail polish. We couldn't cut our hair. So it was a different culture. So when I came into Islam and there was the dress code and there was the different languages, I believe that God really helped me with that, because I know it can be difficult to go into anything and you don't know the language and you don't know the culture, and it's just a culture shock, especially in America, because in America, we're only taught one language, and we're really encouraged to kind of like assimilate and to just leave your parents' culture. Even if you came from another country, just leave that, put that in the back burner, and just become American by following the mainstream trend. And that's not what most of us normal Americans do. We keep our culture. But when I came to Islam, I really felt like that was a benefit. For the first time, when I went to the mosque and I heard the Arabic, I was like, wow, this is what people must feel like when they're around me and my family and we're speaking in Spanish and they don't understand. Like, oh, okay, so I empathized, when, especially the elders, I had experiences where older sisters, fixed my scarf or corrected me in certain ways. And because, again, I have the old school Puerto Ricans to, think back on, I never looked to these sisters like, oh, they're just harsh and cruel and mean. These are like my grandmothers and my aunties. That's kind of like, it's just in the culture to be so direct, especially if they don't know English, And so even I remind myself when I would go to different mosques and I felt like an outsider because I don't speak Arabic, or I don't speak Urdu, or I don't speak Bangladesh, if they have a language, I mean, they have a language, but whatever, if that's the name of the language. So I remind myself, like, let me try to find ways for us to communicate and find some similarities, So it's like things that I would tell my friends when they were on my family. My grandparents didn't speak a lot of English, and I was always interpreting. Me and my brother were always interpreting. My grandmother did not know how to read or write. So for the first time, I was put on the other side, and I was forced to practice what I preached. And I appreciate it, I appreciate it. I learned that, don't take it personal if, especially the older generation, if they speak when the little English that they have, it seems very harsh and bold, we have to remember, what are they going through? They have been discriminated against. They have been, a lot of them have complexes about their broken English, so they just keep it short and to the point. It's not personal. And the more that we are around each other, and the more that we show each other love, even if we feel someone is being harsh, the more that miscommunication will be broken down. If that makes any sense. So I love the diversity. I love alhamdulillah, being around, especially here in Southern California. It is mixed. We have people from Sierra Leone, from Nigeria, from Sudan, from Somalia, from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Egypt, Morocco, Jordan, Lebanon, Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, Puerto Rico. I'm not the only Puerto Rican Muslima here in Southern California, alhamdulillah. Dominican. It is beautiful. I love the diversity of it. And to me, it kind of makes sense why, and I appreciate, only Allah knows as to why. I appreciate why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has preserved the Arabic and the Quran and things like that, because if we were all given permission to just take these translations with our culture and us being humans, we would have different sects. We would have different denominations into Islam, but we all have to say the Al-Fatiha in Arabic. We all have to say AsalaamuAlykum in Arabic. It doesn't matter if I am in Hawaii, if I am in China, if I am in St. Louis. It doesn't matter. We all have a common way of communicating with each other, even if we don't speak each other's language. Everybody knows inshallah. Everyone knows mashallah, jazakallah khair. And I find that so beautiful, so that we know we all know iftar, we all know suhoor, Ramadan, so I just think it's beautiful that Allah has given us a language that, even if very, very minimum, even if it's just 10 words, that I can communicate with a Muslim anywhere in the world, even if it's just by saying AsalaamuAlykum. And I love that. I love the diversity, that we're all so different, and I love that Islam makes us one family. I am so grateful for that. So inshallah, your Ramadan is going well. We're almost to the middle of it. I'm not sure, depending on when this video was uploaded, but inshallah, your Ramadan is doing well. Keep me in your du'as, and I will keep you in mind. Assalamu alaikum.